allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Calling a roll, please.
Randy Gentry,
Here.
Nancy Alsop,
Here.
Brenda Wilson,
Here.
David Thompson,
Here.
Brad Anderson,
Here.
Vicky Wager,
Here.
Steve Ellis.
Here. Thank you. Communication from elected officials, other officials, or agencies of the county. Any? Michael.
Mr. President, I have one item. There is a situation with the Vigo County Drug Court that we are hoping to rectify with the council's approval. Taylor Trinkle, the drug court administrator, is here this evening. In essence, there are 4 funds that supply drug court and veterans court with revenue. The user fees from the individuals enrolled in those respective deferral courts, and those individuals also pay a fee for the drug screens that they take in conjunction with their participation in that deferral court. 3 of those 4, so each court has a user fee. So drug court has user fee, drug screen fund. Veterans court has a user fee, drug screen fund. 3 of those 4 are paid to the clerk's office and deposited into a non-reverting fund with the county. One of them, the drug court drug screen, is paid in cash to the administrator. And we are hoping to rectify that and bring the process in line with the other 3 funds that exist that use and support those deferral courts. So if you have any questions, obviously Taylor's here, I'm here to answer, but it's just something I wanted you to be aware of.
Questions from council?
Just,
Councilwoman Wilson?
just curious, how did it get separated different than the other 3?
Taylor, you want to, yeah.
I don't mean to belabor things, but just curious.
Hi, my name's Taylor Trinkle. I'm the court coordinator for Vigo County Drug Court and Veterans Treatment Court. I started on February 3rd this year, and that's when I was presented with cash payments in office. I was a little confused why I was being handed cash, and I was told that that's just the way it was always done. And that was only cash for one of the 4 things that we receive cash or payments for. So on the Veterans Court side, there is a Veterans Court user fee, there is a Veterans Court drug screen. Those go into 2 separate funds. On the drug court side, there is a drug court user fee, then the drug court drug screens. That is not set up to go into a fund or be paid to the clerk. Those payments are coming to me, and then I'm having to bring those to the treasurer and then take those to the auditor. So what we're wanting is to establish a fund where the clerk can take the payment. There's no cash being handed in our office, and that all goes through the clerk, and then it just gets paid directly over here.
As to the origin of it, I would say it was more a product of necessity than, I think they probably knew it wasn't desirable at that time to have it set up for cash payments, but there wasn't a viable alternative possibly at that point. I'm not sure, but
Then it turned into a, well, it's the way we've always done it.
That's right.
So let's just continue doing it that way. I got it.
Right,
Okay.
so when I came in February, I asked if there was a way that we could go from us taking cash, which is not the most comfortable thing to do.
No.
And then have to hold on to, drive over here, whereas 3 of the other 4 things are paid one place, and this one, like, other thing has just kind of always been done this way, so we just wanted to get that rectified, so everything is uniform. So I
Makes
can
perfect
change my
sense.
policy and procedure manual to be across the board.
Thank you. Councilman Ellis?
So are we suggesting that we're no longer going to accept cash?
No, the
Okay.
clerk's office would accept
Okay,
cash.
copy
Yes.
that.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Councilman Ellis, that, if I, it's not, certainly cash is available for all the other 3 funds as well. It's just through the clerk's office, through that
Copy.
bonded, more secure environment, and not at a, business office off Ohio Street that isn't in the courthouse. And-
Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. President?
Councilman Gentry?
Mr. Wright, my question would be is do we actually need to take any action on this, or is this just an internal policy? Why is it?
The fund creation, Councilman Gentry, is it's necessary for the council to approve the creation of a new fund.
So each of these, we talked about 4 subsectors of this, the different fees. You're saying that there is a independent account set up for each one of those?
For 3 of the 4.
For 3 of the 4, and we're just,
We're completing the, yeah.
we just need a motion to that?
No, I'll have a proposal before you next week for the fund creation with some language and, yeah, it's not an appropriation, it's not any sort of money issue, appropriation, anything like that. It's just establishing a fund for the clerk's office to be able to accept these payments. So, but I appreciate the thought of making the motions. And it is not a hard task. So.
Councilman Anderson?
Does that go into the non-reverting fund?
I mean, the others are non-reverting. Yeah, so the user fee and the drug screen fees, stay in that fund and continue to be utilized by those respective deferral courts for the completion of the people who are in their program.
Do we have a balance that needs to be transferred?
I couldn't speak to that, Taylor, but,
I'd have to look at the accounts.
Yeah.
And see what exactly is in there. I know I will have more I constantly have payments coming in, so as soon as it's set up, I'll have money to establish to put into it.
I mean, she's depositing the money here now. So it's not as though there's some separate account or something. It's just the ability for the clerk's office to accept those payments.
It's
That's-
currently going into a commingled fund with other
Yes.
things in it.
The reason you were getting cash is because they had bought drug testing supplies. They were testing at your place. And that's the reason why
Oh.
it was done that way.
Okay.
So I don't know what's changed. I mean, are you not testing them there now?
No, all testing is done through AberHealth, through Vigo County Community
Why
Corrections.
didn't it just go into the clerk's office?
The clerk's office won't accept payments without a fund, a specific fund set up for the cash to go into.
There you are. It's just going into the general fund now?
No, it's going into.
Yeah.
I had asked questions and multiple, I was told I had to have an ordinance passed and a fund specifically opened. So, like I have 9110, which is Veterans Court drug screens. I needed a similar adjacent fund, which is drug court drug screens, so that I'd have one for each.
We didn't talk about that. So you could be maybe going back into 2511.
The user fees would stay in the same place. This would just be the drug screens, so that I wouldn't have to take cash payments on the drug screens. I'd be happy to set up a meeting if, yeah, that's fine.
Councilwoman Wilson?
What's our role then? What do we have to do?
The
What do we need to do?
fund, the creation of the fund.
Okay.
So, yes, you will be seeing an ordinance that mirrors what you have for Veterans Court already. And that is the only real ask of, related to this request.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything further? We will move to annual tax abatement compliance reviews. This was the loose paper that was in your booklet. I don't believe there are any real issues. I can explain part of this. All the way over to the right, it will say city or county. Obviously, that is whether we gave an abatement or city. We are only worried about the county abatements. The first one down, we don't need to go through these line by line, but the first one down is Tyson Krupp. So on the second line of this paper, the number 188 for their employees, this is what they estimated when they asked for the abatement. The salaries, the 2.4 million is what they asked for. The next line where it says, over a couple of lines, I guess, where it says employee actual, that is what they actually have. They have 188 employees and $8.8 million payroll, that looks like. You can look down through these. It looks like the majority of these are in compliance. The only one that I saw that stuck out was Great Dane. It's about the middle of your page. They said they were going to have 483 employees. They currently have 366, but I think that could probably be explained. They were combining buildings here in Terre Haute, and I don't even know if they're fully up and running.
They're still combining.
Still combining. The rest of them, you can look down. It looks like the ones that I see are, the majority of them have more employees than they said they were going to. The issue that we had was the second one from the bottom, industrial maintenance engineering. And does somebody from the auditor's office want to explain that? Or Michael?
Yeah, no, I can, Bonnie's from the auditor's office can certainly explain it better, but I'll take a crack at it. That, in essence, every entity that has an abatement every year has to update the council on where they are with regards to the projections that they made in their abatement request. And that is done on a SB1 form that the state develops. And it has very basic information on it. The businesses, much like all the filings that they have associated with their business, just file that on an annual basis. Probably set a reminder to do so. On occasion, the auditor's office will come across entities that have not filed and, prompt them with a letter that, we're getting close to the deadline, that we have not received this. And with regards to this year, industrial maintenance was the one entity that really did not do much when prompted by Bonnie. We have, I think, secured all of their material now with the help of their attorney, Jeff Llewellyn, who, appeared on the original abatement. But I know there's some questions related to what recourse the county has in those instances. And, heretofore, we've never gotten into a situation where the threat of revoking an abatement it's never gotten to that level. But that has been the real leverage that the county maintains with regards to compliance on this issue. And I know the assessor's office has some, assessment tools that they can use when late filings are coming in. And I think as a county, you know, I think there's some appetite for exploring whether that's an option available with regards to these forms. And I have not dug into the entirety of the statute, but I believe, you know, in my experience that I've heard of there being, you know, penalties for not filing these short of revoking the entire abatement. So it's something that we're going to look at moving forward. But for purposes of this year, with that one that we had to follow up on multiple times, they've all been filed. All the SB1 forms have been filed by the businesses that have abatements outstanding with the county. So, but for future purposes, I think it is something worth looking at.
Any questions about abatements? Thank you. Moving on, communication from Hamilton Center. Anybody from Hamilton Center? Want to step up to the podium? You're the lucky one.
Hello, I'm Molly Funk. I'm with Hamilton Center. I oversee our addictions programming.
Yeah, is that microphone on?
Is that better?
Ah,
I'm
there you
so
go. There you
sorry.
go. It was-
I'm too short. I'm Molly Funk. I am the Executive Director of Addictions at Hamilton Center.
I think the question is in regards to compliance about the salaries. Do you know much about those, or can you explain what has been done?
I do not have that information. I just know that we are in compliance.
And you don't know what it,
I believe that there was a letter sent. That's all I am aware of.
there was a letter sent, and I've asked for a list of Hamilton Center board members. Haven't gotten that either.
Okay.
Looks like the director's salary last year was $1,020,275 in 2024. I don't know how they're going to get in compliance, but that's what I've requested. I don't know moving forward. I don't know, can we make a recommendation until the Vigo County no longer pays them until they come up with how they have complied?
Well, I mean, their designation as the CMHC right now comes from the commissioners. I don't know that they're, I can't imagine you could do anything with this year's budgeted amount, because it's a question that I honestly don't feel comfortable giving an answer to right now, Council President Thompson, because I just cannot speak to the implications of how the state would feel about withholding budgeted funds from a active CMHC. If, as the letter states, they have taken actions to bring themselves into compliance with that statute. But I don't think the requests are out of line, and I would encourage, I think we can work with the Hamilton Center to get that information relatively quickly. The list of the board of directors and the some of the details surrounding those decisions. But it's something I will follow up on between now and next week on that question you asked regarding the continued payment.
Okay, so we can have it, you think, by next
Yes.
week's meeting?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions from council for? Thank you, I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Moving forward, reports from committees, budget committee update.
Budget committee, we've met for the past 2 days to get the original budgets brought in, and we've been looking at that. We've got a full day tomorrow also, and then we will be going over those. We went through today, made some cuts. People have asked for more, so we've got a lot of things to look at. But it's been working out well, and thanks to the auditor's office, and everything's been going real well. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Resolutions and ordinances other than appropriations. Resolution of reallocation of existing appropriation 2025-05, group homes, transfer of funds.
Mr. President, members of the council, Norm Loudermilk, Executive Director of Vigo County Home for Children. This is just very simply a transfer of funds from already appropriated line item for the purpose of purchasing a shed. So we don't have any storage facilities at the group homes, and so this is going to allow us to purchase a shed and have it placed. With the shed costs about $3,400. We're asking for $3,200 to be moved from contractual services to new equipment. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Questions from council?
No.
Thank you. Before you sit down, you've got a couple more. Ordinances relating to appropriations. 6A, additional appropriation 2025-40, group homes, Glen Home, and Carpenter Home repairs.
So I've got a couple in before you. I'm not sure which one this is.
Well, hold on a second. So you've got additional appropriation 2025-41. That's the Carpenter Home startup cost.
I got
40 and 41.
Yeah. So I mean,
We
which
can talk
do you-
about both of those.
do you know which one this
Then we'll
one-
get into the salaries after that.
So this is not the salary one?
No,
Okay. So is this from the general fund or from the non-reverting?
general.
What page are we on in our book?
8,
Well,
page
The
8.
76,000.
Thank you.
It's page 8, right?
Yep. Is it for the 76,700?
76,700.
Yeah, okay. So, again, Mr. President, members of the council, Norm Loudermilk, I'm the Executive Director of the Vigo County Home for Children. So as the letter indicates, we're in the process of making some pretty substantial upgrades to both the Glen Home and also the Carpenter Home, which is the home up on Rose Hill Avenue. As you well know, we remember, we paid to have bed bugs removed and floors repaired, and so we're trying to get to the point where we can move children in. We're having to turn kids away left and right now, and so we'd like to be able to move forward with placing children. Some of the things that need to be done has been inspected by the commissioners. Of course, Commissioner Klinkenbeard was kind of the ramrod through all this, but there are three major things that are happening. Two of them at the Carpenter Home up north. We have a moisture issue. And so that moisture issue is because of lots of reasons, that the guttering isn't good, that the grade of the land isn't good, and so that water is getting into the crawl space. And over the last 25, 30 years, it has deteriorated some of the wood. So we are reached out to a professional, crawls and basement renovations. They're out of Brazil, to do a number of things. Remediate mold issues in the crawl space, install a sump pump, put a vapor barrier, and replace some joists underneath that home. The floor is not sagging. It's not to the point where you walk on it and you're going to fall through, but these are things that they found that we want to move forward with. And so that's part of the appropriation to the tune of, I think, about $26,000 to do the work. And then the other part of this appropriation is one of the furnaces doesn't work. There are 2 furnaces in the home. One ran the main home. When they got rid of the garage and added the addition to add additional bedrooms, they installed a second furnace. So the east part of the house is on one furnace, west part of the house is on another furnace. The furnace on the west side is inoperable, and so we need to repair those or replace those. This one is in disrepair. Very old furnace, is probably 25, 30 years old. And so part of this would also be for our HVAC vendor, which is Gibson Services, $9,000 for a 2.5-ton system. That's on the east side. And then a 2-ton system, $8,900, which is the west side. So that's the other part of that appropriation. And then the last part of it is the Glen home on South 6th Street. After meeting with commissioners and maintenance, they really feel that the first and foremost thing we need to do is to upgrade the electrical. So we'd like to do a total rewiring of the house. And new breaker boxes, new wiring that all meets code. So the entire home will be brought up to code electrically. So we just think that it's pretty important. We've had some issues, nothing that would close us, nothing that makes it unsafe, but things that give us some concern. So in order to have the electric redone, it's going to cost us about $28,000, and we're going to keep a little bit in reserve in case we run into an issue. So a total of about $31,000. So the grand total for those 3 improvements, 2 at the Carpenter home and 1 at the Glen home, is $76,700. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Question. Councilwoman Wilson?
I just have one quick question with regard to Carpenter Home estimate. It says on the estimate itself, $66,700, but then in the letter, it says $76,000. Is it 66 or 76?
It's 76.
Okay, so it's a typo on the.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Just
I think we submitted a letter, and then what happened was Commissioner Klinkenberg and I met with the contractor again, and to really do what needs to be done, they added some more work. He brought some issues to their attention, and so that increased the cost a little bit. So that's what the additional money's for.
okay. Thank you.
Councilman Ellis?
Do you happen to know what the warranties are on the furnaces?
If what?
Warranties, how long their warranties are? I assume it's new install?
So I bought a furnace in 2020. The warranty was for 10 years. These furnaces were probably bought in.
No, not on those. On the new ones, if you're
Oh.
putting new ones in, do you know what they're gonna
Yeah,
stand,
I don't.
for how long they're gonna stand behind them?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've got the quote. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can show you the quotes if you want to from Gibson. They are the vendors that we've used to put in furnaces at the juvenile center and through the county government buildings, and so I don't know what type of warranty it comes with.
So this question is probably for either our attorney or for the president, one of the two. Could we, as a county, say that when a vendor is going to supply us, because I know the sheriff's office has said they're dealing with some issues with furnaces not working and they're just out of warranty. Could we say to do business with the county, you have to stand behind it for a period of 5 years? That way we know, at least for 5 years, we're not going to be nickel and dimed over this thing, and we're going to know that it works properly.
We could check, but normally a new residential furnace is normally warranted for 5 years, parts and
Okay.
labor. I would have to check on that with Gibson. Yeah, it doesn't, we can find that information for you.
Okay.
I can have it by next week.
And I would be happy to speak to what I've seen at these houses if you have any questions or want me to.
What have you seen?
Well, the house on Sixth Street, number one, it's over 100 years old. It absolutely needs to have the electrical upgraded for numerous reasons. The house on Rose Hill was built, in my estimation, late 60s, early 70s, probably by a company called Davis Homes, and it was built very low to the ground, and there's water that continues to come in. We've been up there, was up there for a couple different days with different contractors coming up with a plan to alleviate the water problem. But over the years, it's definitely caused joists that are bad in the house. Yeah, it needs a lot of work. And as far as the HVAC units, the outside units look to me to be original, probably 40-some years old, for sure. The guttering is undersized, needs new guttering on it. And we talked about those. These are some other things that we're going to address down the road, but we've also looked at it to improve the drainage. Right now, it's basically, I don't know if you want to compare it to like New Orleans, it's built in a bowl. My mom and dad had a house just like it. It's just the way they built houses back then, and it needs some major repairs.
So some of the other appropriation we're going to talk about, I will be taking care of those, the guttering, the grading, moving of some sidewalks, some drain tile work. That will come out of the other stuff. But
And that needs to be done before we do these other things. Unless we fix that problem, it's not going to do any good to put a bunch of money into the house.
Water still drains in the crawl space.
yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
I don't mean to belabor this, but the $10,000 difference on our page 10, the three things that you added up, the $31,790 for emergency electrical, the $16,950 crawl space remediation, and the $17,960 for furnace and AC repair, that does add up to $66,700. So where did the extra $10,000 come? What's that extra $10,000 for? Am I just missing something else?
I think what we did was to, we needed to add about $10,000 worth of drainage work for the crawl space, and that's where that extra money came from. I don't have quotes on that yet. We just don't know what vendor we're going to be using, because again, without it getting appropriated, I can't begin to get quotes. So these people with the crawl space, crawls and basement renovations, they were able to go up there and tell us what happened. So we had, the Realtors Association reached out to us and asked us to help donate items for the kids. They're having a car show with the money that they raised will be donated to the group homes to try to buy backpacks and clothes and hygiene items. And one of the things they did was they recommended someone to go and just kind of take a look at the house, because I told them we had a moisture issue. We're dumping dehumidifiers 3 times a day, and no one knew what caused it. So we got a crawl space expert to go in and say, here's what's wrong and here's what you need to fix it. And then that was their immediate issue. Well, then when Commissioner Klinkenbeard met with them again, a second or third time, and it was like, well, you're going to fix it, but it's going to keep happening. So how can we stop it? So it's well, okay, well then we need guttering and we need some grade work, if you will, and can you remove some of these sidewalks around here, things like that. And so that's when we said, well, we need to add a little bit more to cover.
So the
to cover that
10,000 was
stuff.
just a guesstimate.
But I don't have a quote from a
Sure,
vendor.
sure.
I just, we've just-
To cover your bases, to have
Yeah.
something in there. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
This might be out of line, but it sounds like this is the beginning of what could be a lot of repairs. Have we looked at, is it a better option to just buy another location and take this one down? Is it, in other words, is this thing so bad that it doesn't warrant repairing it and we should just be looking
On a
elsewhere.
5 or 6 bedroom home would run more than $76,000.
Okay, all right.
So I think when you look at it, the home is not in such disrepair that it can't be fixed. Everything works. It's stable. But if we don't do something, it's going to keep getting worse. I mean, we're just so unlucky that the furnaces happen to come up right now at the same time that we're worried about the crawl space. We went up there to make sure, well, this air conditioning unit's burnt. It doesn't work. Well, we need to get some quotes on those. Well, while we're at it, let's get the guttering done because that's presenting a problem underneath. So I think that if we were to go shop for another group home, we'll spend a heck of a lot more than what we're doing to repair what we already have to invest in that.
Copy.
But that's up to the commissioners. They want to buy a new home. it's fine.
It's my opinion that this money that we put in this, we would get back when we went to sell it. Right now, if you try to sell it as is, you're going to have to sell it at a big discount because it needs that much work. So
Thank you.
I think this money is a worthwhile investment, and we would get it back if, whatever reason you decided in a year to close these down, or we decide to close them down and we want to sell it, we get that money back.
Thank you.
That's my opinion.
Councilwoman Wager?
I would say also, Commissioner Claytonbeard is a builder. I would take his word for saying this is an investment that we need to make. We couldn't find someplace else that's got 6 or 7 bedrooms in it. That's for darn sure. So, with him supervising and poor little Norm running his tiny little legs off, what kind of a deal, what better deal could you get? I want pictures of that, by the way.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Sorry, one more question. I'm assuming that you have children waiting to be able to go in there so that we would be recouping some of this money fairly quickly?
Yeah, some documents I'd like to pass out if I could.
I'm
Can I
sorry if I'm
approach?
jumping the gun from
Yes.
something you had planned on doing.
I figured you had some.
I think I have one for everybody again, but you may have already seen these.
Yeah, we saw this today.
Wow. 57 females.
So the first find mine.
You can use this one if you,
So the first set of documents, say again?
I didn't know. if you
Yeah, I
had
got it. It's okay. So the first thing, it says Butte County Home for Children data. And that first chart, that shows you the rates that DCS pays us currently in the past for housing one of their children. So this is money that can be recouped back to help offset all of these appropriations that you're looking at, as well as any future appropriations. The second box you'll see is how much we billed DCS since the group home is opened. So we opened back up, and I won't say opened, it never closed, but we first took our first kid this year, February 24th. And since February 24th until August 1st, we billed $672,000. There was a question in the budget committee that said, well, how much has the county spent to operate the group homes? And we spent about $603,000. So we're bringing in more than what we're spending. And that's just with one home. So, we continue that the remainder of the year, and then of course get a full year of placement next year. And we're on our way to definitely offset the costs that we not only have budgeted, but of course any additional appropriations that we may see, as 75% of this goes to the general fund. So, and I don't know if I answered your question, I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, you did.
But that just shows you, the next third paragraph down, or the third box, talks about how many people we've had to deny because we don't have the North Home open. So, you can see by month how many of those denials, and you can look why we're focusing on the females, because that home is for girls. And so if we had that home open, then obviously that home would probably be full or close to being full, and then that's just revenue that the county's throwing away because we could obviously make back not only any salaries that we have for staffing it, but any operational costs as well, and any type of improvements that we may want to do, like the crawl space renovations or the guttering or the grading or any other thing. So I just want to kind of show you that. The next page in that document is a recent letter that I received from my cost analysis contractor. And so they're projecting that next year's rates will be $11.35 to $11.45. So this year, our rates are $1,038. Next year, they're going to be $1,135 to $1,145. So next year, we're going to make more. And so, but we're going to make more starting January 1st, because we're going to have kids there then. So we'll have a full year of placement and a full year of collections. Yeah, the last part's my Form 2, but that's for another issue, so.
Any other questions from council?
I think Randy.
Councilman Gentry?
Commissioner, do we have any idea what the value of that home is? I mean, I trust you from the professional standpoint, but is there an actual, I don't think it's assessed because it's a county-owned property, right?
I believe so. No, but I could get a market analysis done. That would be the easiest thing and the quickest thing. Kevin knows what that would be.
I was just going to correct you, Mr. Gentry. Even county-owned and state-owned and municipal property are assessed. That's used for bonding.
Do you know what the assessed value is, Mr. Gardner? Could you also,
Go to my office and find out.
all right.
Right now.
Yeah, if
Pushy,
we
pushy.
pushed out to 25 values, so that would be the current assessment.
210,000.
So the assessed value is 210, and to Mr. Councilman Ellis's question is we're, at a minimum, we're $76,000 in on the property. Something to look at from the standpoint that is,
Not 76, I'm sorry, 31,000 of that's for the electricity at the group home on South 6th.
31,000 of the 76,000 is going to another property.
Going to the group home on South 6th.
All right. All right. All right. So, to that extent, I just think it's interesting and something that we must contemplate is, at what point do we put more money into it? Obviously, Commissioner, you think that, from the county's perspective, we would be able to recoup that money, so.
Yeah, no, I think it's a legitimate question, something we need to look at. If we were going out today and say we want to start group homes, I would not choose a 100-year-old house to put a group home in, and I would sure as heck choose this one that's got water problems. But I think right now, we can make these repairs and they're justified, and we will recoup that. And then if things are wildly successful, like I believe they could be, and we could do something different. I mean, I think we'd be open to doing something different. Council President Thompson and I had this discussion the other day about a potential, doing something with the group homes down the road with another building. So, but yeah, my opinion, it's worth it now. But would not, starting one up would not do that again.
Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. Loudermilk, in regards to an update, each time you appear before us, I kind of like to get this as an add-on feature to statistics and so forth. How many kids do we have currently, and how many kids do we have from Vigo County?
7.
So we currently have 7 kids, and of those 7, how many are from Vigo County?
3.
3 of the 7 are from Vigo County. Without getting, can we know where the other kids are coming from? Do we have an idea of the 4?
Well, we know, but I don't know, like offhand.
Okay. One of the things that
I mean, one's from Clay County, one's from I think, Johnson County. Marion's for one.
And when you first presented to us, when this entire process started, what's the maximum capacity of the current facility that is actually operating right now?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
you first submitted to us back in, and I can't remember at this point, we see you, seems like every month, except when you were on the beach and wherever that was at. The question I have for you is what is the maximum capacity of the current facility that is operational?
We're licensed for 9.
Okay, so we're still under maximum capacity. Okay.
Some of that's not our fault.
Okay. Feel free to explain that, but I mean, I'm just trying to get a feel for the future of you're throwing numbers at us as a council, and you're talking about how much money revenue's coming in, the cost going out, and I think as a fair assessment, I'll probably try to reach out to you this week sometime. I just have some questions on the numbers, making sure that I see as a whole from your standpoint where these numbers are. I've got some other numbers that I asked today from the auditor's office, and I just want to kind of compare notes. So I'll get with you this week and not belabor this point at this point. I just want to make sure that we are turning, at least breaking even in this process, because we know we're going to have more employees coming online. We're going to have more expenses once these houses go operational. I just want to make sure that you've got all that calculated in your numbers.
Yep, I'd like to be able to have those numbers from the auditor's office as well.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Next, Norm, we will do additional appropriation 2025-41, group homes, Carpenter Homes startup cost. That is your
Non-reverting.
Non-reverting,
It's the 48.5.
correct.
Okay. So, Mr. President, members of the council, Norm Latimer, Director of the the group home. And so this is a appropriation from my non-reverting fund. Early this year, the commissioners passed an ordinance to establish a non-reverting fund to capture some revenue that we receive through DCS payments for the care of their children. 75% of that goes to the general fund to offset the costs that the county has budgeted. 25% goes into a non-reverting fund to be used specifically at the group home. And so this is the first time that we're coming to ask for some of that expense. This is for startup costs to get the Carpenter home up and running. We place them in the same general line items that cover as many areas as we can in each series. In the 200 series, we put in $10,000 for institutional supplies. Again, that's shampoo, toilet paper, tampons, whatever it is we need, cleaning equipment, Lysol, Kleenexes, things that we need to operate. Building repairs, only $2,500 there. Again, because the majority of the repairs are coming from the previous very large appropriation. Contractual services, $28,000. That's to pay the people to do some of the work that we're talking about, whether it's putting new gutters in or whatever else that needs to be done to make that place ready to go. And again, we can have kids living there while this is going on, just like the remodeling and renovations we're doing on South 6th Street. So, and then the last one is furniture and fixtures. We'd like to get some better beds up there. We don't have any couches for the kids to sit on, and a TV for them to watch. We have a dining room table that seats 6, so if there's 8 kids that stay there, where are they going to sit? So we'd like to get a different table, or at least get another small table with some other chairs, things like that. So we're using $48,500 that we've come up with to do startup costs and to get that place running. Again, this is DCS money that is in our non-reverting fund, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions from council? Norm, you say in here your non-reverting fund currently has about $88,000 in it. Is that correct?
Well, that was as of that letter.
That letter.
Probably a little bit more now. What I want you to do is to know that the lag time from DCS billing until we receive that check is about 60 days. So if you refer to the graph sheet in that first paragraph, or the second one, we billed DCS in July $195,000. That's not going to get to us till the first part of October. But there's enough money in there right now to cover this appropriation.
Okay, thank you. Larry?
Right now, as of August 1st, there's 88,502.46.
Okay, so that's, all right.
And Norm, I have for you exactly what we gave for them. I'm sorry, I didn't get that to you, I apologize.
Mr. President?
Councilman Gentry?
Just a point of clarification, on page 23 of our book, this goes to kind of what Councilwoman Wilson was asking about before, and I want to make sure that this is not a duplicate charge, Mr. Loudermilk, is listing the Rose Hill Avenue / 1308 South 6, so I'm not sure, but it says replace the driveways $10,000, and since we were looking for possibly that $10,000 difference, is that the $10,000?
So we were going to replace the driveway. We're not going to be able to do that. We're going to have to do the grading.
So if that's the case, then you've got $10,000 into this $48,550, and we've got an increase of $10,000 in the other request, as Councilwoman Wilson had brought forward. So I'm just trying to figure out, did the $10,000 show up in two different spots?
I think it did, but again, the non-reverting fund, if you appropriate the money, it's no harm, no foul. It goes back into the fund anyway, and it's DCS money, not tax money, and I'm sure there's something else we could spend it on. So when we wrote these letters, you know, it was a minute ago, trying to make sure we got on the agenda. Obviously, we accounted for that grading in two separate areas. That was a mistake on my part. If you want to reduce it, you can, but I would ask that you not, and let me have that money to continue doing the things we need to do up there. Because there's all kinds of projects that need to be done, whether it's there or at the group home on South 6th. And this money can be spent on both of those.
So it's your request tonight that we give you the $10,000 in both locations?
Yep.
Thanks, sir. No more questions, Mr. President.
Further questions from council? Thank you, Norm. The next one is amended salary ordinance 2025-18, group homes, Carpenter Home Staffing.
Mr. President, members of council, Norm Loudermilk, Executive Director of the Vigo County Home for Children. So I submitted a request to hire staffing to be able to staff the group home on Rose Hill and then start accepting kids. So if we appropriate this money next week, which is the 12th, we won't be able to hire anybody for probably a month, because it takes that long to get through the vetting process, the backgrounds, the advertising of the positions through HR. So now we're looking at probably middle of September, end of September, before we're able to actually put people on. So now you're only looking at October, November, December to be able to have people work. So even though we're appropriating what would be $250,000, we're probably not going to spend near that much, because we just won't have the people in place by that time.
What is the appropriation? What's the dollar amount?
It's different on here. Norm, your number's different on here.
Yeah. Address that. In the book.
Page 4.
So what I passed out to you is a organizational chart of the way the group home is that's an organizational chart, the way the group home is set up right now. So the reason it's different is when I asked the auditor's office for the cost of employees, how much will it cost to bring 5 people on board, what they did was they figured it on a single person, single employee insurance plan. And so after I met with the auditor's office again, to err on the side of caution, we resubmitted it in the advertising for a family plan. So that the costs that are reflective, $250,000, that's what was advertised, $242.12, is to hire 5 people, and if they all took a family plan, then this would be enough to cover it. But, so that's the difference in what you see. The first request was for the employees, FICA, PERF, and single insurance, and Brady decided that it was probably better that we err on the side of caution and make it so that everyone has a family plan, even if they don't take it, then we'd have plenty of money there budgeted for it. So that's what the advertisement was for $250, $242.12, I think. So thank God for Brady.
That is correct. Questions from council?
Mr. President.
Councilman Gentry?
So, being a rookie to this process, I direct this question to my colleagues on the budget committee that's currently going through this process. And Mr. Loudermilk, to just make sure that I understand your timeline and then understand the budget committee's timeline. So, Mr. Anderson, in regards to the budget committee, if the budget committee was to approve this as part of the budget, that would take effect when? January 1st?
On the budget committee, yeah.
Okay, so if the budget committee did this, it would go through January 1st. And Mr. Loudermilk, if I understand your correct assessment is that if we would appropriate this money and do this sooner, that the earliest that you're going to be able to operate based off of the vetting process and everything else you've got to go through, plus you've got repairs to make, the whole bit. And I don't want to misquote you, so that's why I'm asking you. You're talking November, December?
No,
No? Okay.
probably October, September. And it's going to, if you appropriate the money and vote on this on August the 12th,
Yeah,
it'll take about 3 to 4 weeks to get people hired. So
okay.
now we're into September the 12th.
But you don't have a building that you can put people in right now, right?
Well, there's a building sitting on Rose Hill.
I thought we were doing the construction you're asking for money at the same time for construction. Are you going to be able to complete the construction, put people in that house, and have the staff all hired? You're telling me you're going to do that in 30 days?
No, the construction doesn't have to be complete in order to take the kids. The house is not dilapidated so much that we can't house children. These are upgrades and updates that need to happen as the kids are being accepted and as they're staying there. I don't have to do the construction work before the kids. We can accept the kids and hire the people while they're working on the home. The home, where they're working is underneath the home. It's crawl space. It's putting guttering on the outside. It's got nothing to do with the bedrooms. Putting a furnace in doesn't mean people can't stay there.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the clarification. Thank you.
Further questions from council? Thank you.
I'll be available by phone, email. You can come visit me if anybody would like to discuss any of this or talk about what's going on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Norm.
Thank you.
Moving on, additional appropriation 2025-43, Riley Fire District.
Finally. Vern.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm Vern Tenscher. I'm president of the Riley Fire District Board. We're requesting an additional appropriation of $59,100. It's for the special CUME fund, and our auditor says that Gateway erred when they approved our budget and didn't include that amount of money.
Well,
Can't get any more
that's a
straightforward than
dirty
that.
trick.
What is the fix for that? Do we know?
Well, I don't know the full details, Mr. President, but if it was a mistake that was made in Gateway, I'm guessing the auditors want to get it corrected for audit purposes, your cumulative fund is
Yes.
typically the fund that they use for debt payments and things like that. So I'd imagine there's some necessary use for these funds this year. So that's why the appropriation's necessary.
We're paying for a fire truck we bought about 12 years ago, and we bought a new tanker last year, so.
But this was all done from last year's,
I'm guessing
Budget, right?
that's correct,
Yes.
Brad, that yes, the money was not put in last year for this year's budget. They caught it and are now correcting it.
okay.
Seem like you better get it.
We hope we do.
Questions from council? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
See you next
President.
week.
59,100, okay.
Additional appropriation 2025-44, maintenance, budget reimbursement, and community corrections parking cost.
Good evening, President Thompson, members of the council. If I could I just revisit this Carpenter home real quick? I don't think, there are two requests. One, to fund the operation. If the operations are not funded and we are not going to open that, we would not request the money to make these improvements.
Right,
We
have
would
to-
sell as is
Oh,
at that
okay.
point. You know what I'm saying?
And if
Does
we
that make
come to
sense?
the-
It does.
And if we come to it next time, whatever, how many months, we don't have to, because it is an appropriation for the year, right? Or is this the other
This is the
appropriation?
appropriation.
For the salaries?
For the,
He's gone.
I believe we're talking about the maintenance, correct?
The maintenance, I understand. but-
Yeah.
But the salaries would not be that much if you're only 3 or 4 months.
I believe that's correct, yes.
So we'd
Because
have to
I
redo
assume
that.
that during
We
budget,
could appropriate
That,
it, but we wouldn't spend it.
The request is budgeted for 4 months.
4 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's already for 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah,
For-
so it's right in the budget.
5
Not the
full-time and
annual
2 or 3
appropriation.
part-time people.
What they're
Okay.
requesting is what it would cost for 4 months.
For 4 months, okay. Thank you.
yeah, just wanted to
Brady.
make sure that we would not be asking for that money
If we're going to use it.
correct.
Thank you.
Like I said,
Yes.
like,
Any other questions about that? Nope, okay. Moving to, we're requesting $20,396 to reimburse our maintenance department, their budget for the remodel for the 4D court that has added 3 office spaces and we repainted basically everything that had been repainted in 20-some years. It did come in, I think when we talked, I said it was going to be somewhere in the low 20s, and we came in right on budget, $20,396. It is all done, up and running, seems to be going well. We are also requesting for the rest of this year, $7,500 for parking, 20 parking spaces across the street. We've already signed the agreement, and people are using that parking lot right now. And we've asked that the staff use that as much as possible, as opposed to the clients, things like that. So those are our 2 requests there.
Thank you. Questions from council?
Thanks.
Thank you, appreciate it. Additional appropriation 2025-45, Prosecutor's Office, new vehicle and new equipment.
And they could not be here tonight, yeah.
I have spoke with Rob as well. He could not be at tonight's meeting. He will be here next week. I believe the way I understand what he is asking, this is out of, they just recently had a deposit into seized assets, and they're wanting to move that to an expenditure line.
That's correct, Mr. President. I spoke with Chief Deputy Roberts. He apologized he couldn't be here this evening. He indicated he will be here next week, but yes, he indicated there was a deposit, I presume in July, and this request is to move that deposit into a spend line, and he's outlined what the monies would be used for.
Okay, thank you. And he does plan on being here next week, correct?
That's
He
correct.
said he would, yeah.
Okay. If there are any questions, we can save them for Chief Deputy Roberts next week. Public comment. Vince?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice. Page 35.
I'd like to thank the council for giving me a couple minutes to speak. And I'm Vince DeVito from Hanning Construction. Hanning's been around since 1960 here in Vigo County. And just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a history, kind of how that, where we are from then to now. In 2021, Larry Yargis purchased Hanning Construction from Troy Biddle. He was from Marshall, Illinois. I don't know if anybody's familiar with him, but second generation fertilizer business and construction of things like that. So he's decided he's going to come over here. He purchases Hanning Construction. 2023, Wes Rediger was named president, Seth Porter vice president. 2023 restructured a little bit. Sisters Meg Stewart and Ann Sheehy became majority owners. Wes Rediger and Seth Porter became minority owners alongside Larry. And Meg Stewart was named CEO. So what that's kind of where I'm going with this is just kind of the timeline. Historically, Hanning Construction, they took a lot of pride in doing a lot of work at ISU. I think they had their hands on every building on the campus. Some of the most recent project would have been the remodel of Holman Center. Let's see, the College of Health and Human Services, Student Rec Center. So fairly large projects. Usually when we're up to speed and working, we usually employ about 95 to 100 Vigo County residents and we're affiliated with the local unions. Some current projects that we have going on, Clear Creek Welcome Center. It's a little bit behind, scheduled to be completed in September, grand opening in October. So that's been about a 2-year project. We're currently working at for the city, Ray Park Clubhouse, at the golf course there, doing a renovation. We're out at Terre Haute Regional Airport, and also at the Swope Art Museum. So, again, they brought me on January, and the main focus was to get out and build relationships. Something that, you know, everybody tries to do, but really that's my only job. So I just wanted to take this minute. I know you guys are all busy people, so I wanted to at least extend this. This is what we do. You guys are all very smart, and you can read through this and see any details, but just wanted to let you know that as we've been evolving and things that we're doing, the delivery method has kind of changed a little bit, that you're seeing that a lot of private and public folks are using. So construction management is a new way of things. People are doing projects. They're bringing on someone to be more of the owner's rep on the front end and work with the design, architect, the engineers, and then manage the project on behalf of the owner. And we have, we're starting to build a resume of, as those projects, you know, become available. That's where we're shifting kind of our focus. So we definitely have the capability to take on a role as a construction manager or a general contractor and more of your hard bid methods. So again, thank you guys for the time. And if anybody has any questions and we can be a resource in the community for anyone, let us know, and we'd be more than happy to help out any way that we can.
Thank you. Any
Thank you.
questions,
Thanks a
council?
lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Would you entertain a motion to adjourn?
I will. Oh, wait, I forgot about it twice.
Shoot.
The ledger of receipts, disbursements, and balances. This is the commissary report from the sheriff's department. It was also the loose in our packet, and I think by, is it, they're supposed to report it twice a year to us? Quarterly now, okay. So this will have all their expenditures in there. You can look over this. If there are any questions,
Two that I just happened to get to.
you just have to get to. This has, it looks like all their expenditures, their deposits, where they come from, and so forth. Generally, we've got it twice a year. It sounds like we are going to now receive it quarterly. Now I will take the motion.
You got it.
Second.
Motion to
Second.
adjourn.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, meeting's adjourned.
Pleasure spending the day with you.